Welcome to Souljourner Truth, where we'll find our way home together. I'm Kimberley, and just like you, I want more joy, more peace, more prosperity, and more love in my life. Every episode, we'll examine a soul-stirring question, we'll walk it out with practical, easy-to-manage steps, and then we'll bring it home by integrating and embodying what we've just learned. If you're ready to come home to the best version of yourself, then walk with me.
Hello, fellow travelers. It's me, Kimberly, your guide and your host. I am here today with one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, Jason Benefield.
Hey, how you doing, everybody?
And what Jason doesn't want to tell you is that he's a reverend and about to be a doctorate. A doctor? Doctor.
Yeah, my doctorate to be a doctor in spirituality.
So we are in some good company today, and I'm so excited that you've agreed to be my very first guest.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. You know, you're one of my favorites.
Thank you.
We have a lot of fun. Y'all don't know yet, but we do have a lot of fun.
Y'all will learn. So I wanted you to come in today to help us walk through, because you're so steeped in spiritual tradition and spiritual practices.
Tradition.
Help us walk through how to understand when your soul is talking to you versus when your ego is talking to you. And one of the things we've been working through on episodes lately is trying to listen to that soul's whisper, right? And realizing that it can come in any manner of ways, right? Some people might describe it as like a gut nudge. Some people actually may hear a voice. Some people may see patterns repeated in their life saying, hey, pay attention to this. Some people may actually hear a voice. Some people see a vision. And knowing that for everybody, it can be different, right? But how do we know when it's real versus just your ego being like, yeah, you need a, I don't know, Lamborghini. Buy the Lamborghini. How do we know?
Oh, wow. It's so interesting. A lot of times it happens where I see it, I hear it,
Like
you see it up here.
Clear.
I see it up here, but then sometimes I'll see it out there too,
Okay.
as well. Like
Okay.
even like for instance, you mentioned the Lamborghini. So
Yes.
right now, I'm looking at a Mercedes-Benz SUV. You know,
Okay.
and so now it's like everywhere I turn around, I'm seeing different types of models of Mercedes-Benz SUVs.
Is God telling you to get a Mercedes? Jason?
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's a lot of times I think people are like that. They say, oh my God, I feel it, I see it, I hear it, I know it's there. It's like closer than I can actually touch it, right? Because it's such a overwhelming it's an overwhelming feeling.
But wait a second, because sometimes I have an overwhelming feeling to punch somebody in the face. Is that spirit talking to me?
I think that's ego.
But how do I know?
What individuals call ego.
Right, but how do I know the difference?
Because we're in a loving universe. A lot of times when to punch somebody in the face is more so of a reaction and not a harmonizing response to the situation. Okay. Yeah. But I do want to go back to one thing though. How do we know about our desire? Scripture says, once I've heard it, twice you've spoken, power belongs to God. And a lot of times we hear it. And also we know we get that nudge to move forward and to do something. Yes. And then you hear it again. And it becomes a little bit louder. And what is really important in all of this is making sure you know the voice of God for yourself, you know the feeling of God for yourself. and you know the vision of God for yourself, because all of it is uniquely created for us to know and understand for ourselves. So it's like that's where the daily practice of meditation and visioning and prayer comes in. So then that way you always know and feel who and whose you are all the time, at all times. So you know that when you're hearing, when you're seeing, when you're feeling, you know it's from God. You know it's from spirit, source, energy.
Peggy Sue, I think, is what we decided to call source in
Is
one
that
episode.
really?
Sure, I was
Peggy
like, you
Sue,
can call
man.
it God, you can call it Allah, you can call it Peggy Sue.
I
Or
call it
Becky Sue.
Becky Sue. I call it true essence.
There you go.
That's mine.
So I think what you're saying
I said a lot.
is, if I could just distill it down a little bit, is take in what you hear, what you see, what you're thinking, and perhaps ask the question, is this in alignment with source? Right? Like obviously punching someone in the face is not in alignment with source.
And another thing too about when we have this soul's desire come up for us, a lot of times it comes up for us because of the fact that there's something that was missing in our lives that we truly wanted to actually exist.
Say more.
I will say more. So growing up, matter of fact, shameless plug.
What?
My book.
Where'd that come from?
The Essential Pain and Peace of Life, Journey of Unfolding Consciousness, is loosely based on me and my life of growing up with a medical situation that was looked at as a behavioral issue and treated as such. I said I went from, before being on Dilatin and Tegretol, I was on ass whoopings and punishment. So, because I didn't have a support system, I didn't have somebody there to help me to be able to regulate my energy, to be able to show me and direct me in a path that I can still go regardless of what I was moving through with my parents and also my siblings and also with my relatives, that I still had a purpose. I still had a calling on my life. There was something bigger and grander than what I was experiencing as a child. And then but the end, I would tell people also is that if I did not continue to focus on God, I don't know where I would be today. I don't know what I'd be doing. So that's why I believe the soul's desire of having something that you feel like you missed, that you didn't have, that you know that you could have wanted for your life.
Oh, so like healing your own inner child or something?
Yeah, something similar to that. Healing your own inner child, learning how to be present with you and who you are as your own individual self. Learn to love who you are, appreciate who you are, knowing that you exist for a reason.
Are these the things you incarnated to learn?
These are some of the things that I did incarnate to learn. Absolutely. I grew up as a bishop's grandson. I know all about that. I desired that at one point. And then I met Les Brown. And Les Brown is a motivational speaker. And I heard his story. I felt his pain. I said, I want to express my pain this way too. And I was 12 years old.
When you came across him?
When I came across him, I was 12 years old. And I read his book, cover to cover. His first book, Live Your Dreams. So then I said, okay, I could be a pastor, but he's touching lives everywhere.
Yeah.
He's not just in one place.
You could see this at 12?
Yeah.
I don't know what I was doing.
I mean, I had my first Charles sermon at 17.
I think I was like chasing boys and
Right on, chasing boys.
12.
Right on. Yeah. I didn't have my first girlfriend until college.
Well, you were too busy serving God.
Anyway, soul's desire. What is so important is that God always gives us visions. God always gives us ideas. God always gives us thoughts. God always gives us everything that we need to hear, know, and to do.
So you feel Spirit, you know for sure Spirit is talking to you because it shows up in so many different
ways.
It's not just a gut nudge. It's not just a longing for a Mercedes. It's showing up in multiple ways, in patterns.
Yeah,
we talked about that. Yeah. Repeating over and over again. You hear it, you see it, you think it. Okay.
Yeah. I hone into all of it, and so I can't say that I don't know, or I never heard it. I do know, and it is up to me to actually do it. It's up to me to actually move forward with it. Like even when you brought up like, well, what about the voice of ego? Well, if we look at the ways that thought forms and beliefs come up that are the exact opposite of what it is that you want to do. So
say more.
So like a lot of times for me, what comes up for me is, well, I'm not getting enough likes on social media.
You care about that?
Oh my gosh. Just a little bit. So then when I notice, oh man, people only look at 53 seconds of your video. I did a full 53 seconds.
I did 53 minutes and they only watched 53 seconds.
Right. Like, it was like, you see my face, hi. And it was like, okay, next. I like next, like that. So that's a thought I have. Like, people are not looking, people are not responding, people are not actually wanting to know more. How can we actually get in contact with him? What can we do? So like all those things. So I'm saying, so a lot of times I'm feeling like, okay, am I doing all this work because I want to be seen, or if I'm doing all this work because I actually feel like I'm helping someone? And so I've started doing these posts in 15 seconds, right, for each situation, and then someone actually reached out. Okay. And I was just like, okay, that's what's up. I was excited about that. So sometimes you never know who's going to come into your life and why. It was like, because I was on a Instagram live talking about my book was the reason why I was able to be a speaker at this convention.
When you thought nobody was listening.
When I thought nobody was listening and nobody was paying attention.
I'm going to share with you something I learned from Ram Dass. I do it for me. I don't do this work yes, I want to help every single person. I want everyone to listen. I want the whole world to get something out of this, to learn and grow. But really, this is my work to do. And I'm going to do it regardless of whether one person listens or whether a million. It's my journey. It's my unfolding. And every day when I sit down and, work on a script for an episode or post a short, I'm learning something in that process. I am, taking in things I've heard, read, seen, filtering it, distilling it, and making sense of it for me. And then I give it to, the world to consume or not consume. But at the end of the day, it's for me. And I imagine the work you do, really, Jason, is for you too. Yeah. That is your soul's calling. And that's how you know it's the call on your soul, because it's healing something in you while it's also healing other people.
I received that. And so I believe for me, right, there is something that I'm working through even now, right? Because I'm becoming more aware of it now, because there's something greater that's supposed to be expressed, that is going to be expressed from me, right? So the workout part for me is external validation, not worrying about it, not worrying about, what people are saying or doing, right? And to get rid of the chatter in my own mind about myself and about my abilities,
so that you can hear.
So I can hear, be open, get the information I need, to be able to make the posts, to be able to create the podcast or whatever it is that Spirit has me do. Yeah.
I feel like this could be a whole nother show, like the role of social media in spiritual discovery and how we get right with the need to get likes and good, what are they called? Metrics?
Analytics.
Analytics.
Metrics.
The need to get right with all that, but still stay true to the voice, calling, right? And not go pandering after likes. Yeah. That's a whole nother.
That is a whole nother
episode.
Yeah.
We're just starting out. It's episode 8. We got to save something for episode 28.
Right on.
But yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And that's why you keep hearing it. That's why you keep seeing it. That's why you keep feeling it. That's why you keep seeing it up here, out there and in here, hearing it inside from other people, and then feeling it. Like knowing that every time it comes up into your awareness, you're like, oh yeah, this is the feeling of peace. This is the feeling of joy. This is the feeling of freedom. That when I know I'm walking in my purpose, when I know that I'm walking in the will of God, this is what it is for me.
I want to push on that a little bit.
Go ahead, let's push.
Because for me...
I didn't even ask her.
He didn't.
So how...
You see how he treats me?
Yeah, like the big little sister that she is. So how does it come up for you?
So I'm not as open as Jason yet. I don't yet trust what I see in my visioning because I'm not sure, is that just Kimberley being yeah, or is that Spirit? Which is why I'm asking the question, how do we know, right? I haven't really heard God's voice talking to me. Like some people, like Reverend Michael at Agape, will literally talk about hearing a voice. Yeah. Someone said to him, like clear as day. I haven't had that yet. But what I do recognize are patterns, being the same thing. And you were saying this, it keeps repeating, it keeps showing up in different ways. So my big example, and one of the reasons I really wanted to have you for this conversation, is how I even came to this work.
Right on.
Because I know you remember, because we've talked about it before, but maybe about a year and a half ago when I had just met Jason, and we were doing like some kind of choir workshop-y thing where we were like, I don't know, it's like a mini therapy session, and I was kind of asking some questions, and I was a newbie to the choir. Like
you would never know.
I was completely new and just inserted myself in this thing in a very big way. And
you have a big aura and spirit about yourself. That's why when you come in, it's like, oh, this is Kimberley. Let's go.
I was
okay,
like,
you got it.
Like, I don't know, maybe there was a group of 6 of us, and we're kind of doing this like mini therapy session, and I'm asking some questions and whatever. Jason turns and looks at me and says, I cannot wait for you to become a spiritual practitioner. And I literally almost gave him 2 middle fingers. I'm not even kidding. I had such a visceral response to that. I was like, are you crazy, dude? I'm a lawyer, and no. But I sat with that, and I kept asking myself, why did I respond that way? That was so weird. That was so out of character. I'm sure I looked like a lunatic to everyone in the room. Like I was literally ready to punch Jason in the face.
See, that's where the punch came from. That's why she asked about the punch.
But I sat with it for like a year. And over the course of that year, also feeling like I had lost focus of like my next goal. Like my whole life I've always had some goal I was working towards, you know. I don't know, be a professional musician, become a lawyer, like get a job at this firm. Oh, there was always some goal, and I just, you know, trod on along to make it happen. And, you know, 13 years into being a lawyer, and I'm like, that was kind of my last big goal. And what's next? I feel so empty. I don't know what I'm doing or what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm sitting with that also. And that question, that, I guess, suggestion that Jason implanted in me. One day I literally just was like, Kimberley, and maybe I didn't hear a voice, okay? I'm gonna tell you right now, I did not hear God be like, you should make a podcast. I didn't hear that. But I was just sitting at my desk doing lawyerly things, and I was like, you should make a podcast, and you should just go on like every other day for like 2 or 3 minutes and be like, blah, 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 blah. This is what I'm thinking about today spiritually, right? And in part because I had heard Ram Dass say, you do it for you, not for anybody else. Because I heard Sonia say, Sonia Agape in our choir, Sonia say that she had written a play, and she had big hopes and dreams for the play, but it kind of stayed small, but that she's performed it year after year after year, and people keep coming back, so she knows she's touching somebody. So whether 1 million people see it or 25 people see it, she feels so fulfilled and knows that she was supposed to write that play and perform that play and put it on. And then the drummer I knew back in the early 2000s, shout out to Casualty in New York, would put out a newsletter like every month. I'm going to say he put that thing out for a decade, and it would come in my, don't listen to this T, in my inbox every month for like 10 years, and I was always like, oh, that's nice, delete. Never read it. Then one day I read it, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. What have I been missing all this time? And my takeaway was not so much like, oh, how amazing the newsletter is, but it really is amazing. It was, oh my gosh, he loves the craft of drumming so much. He's so dedicated to this, and he has been consistently showing up month after month, year after year, putting out this content really for him, but the rest of us get to enjoy it. And what a beautiful expression of his gift. And there was just so much love in that. I was like, that's what you need to do. You need to do just a little Instagram thing. And then literally over the course of like 3 weeks, it just grew bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, no, you're gonna do long format. You're gonna talk about books you've read. You're gonna have guests. You're gonna travel to places and explain that whole experience. You are going to get a coaching certification and become a spiritual life coach. I mean, boom. But that's how I knew it was spirit and not ego, because it just kept coming. And yeah, I guess I kind of felt it in my body, like, just, you said this earlier, it's just a knowing without knowing. And that's really the definition of intuition, right? It's a knowing without knowing how you know.
So when you said that, I was like, oh, so me speaking that into your life was needed.
Yes. I mean, listen, someone else would have said it if Jason did. but
that's true. That is true. That is so true. Right.
But we were put together in that room, in that particular situation. I was compelled to speak. And you were compelled to speak back to me. And that was all for a reason.
Yeah.
And so I guess I want to elaborate on this so much because there are a lot of people out in the world today talking about spirituality. And a lot of them come from a place, which isn't wrong, but from a place where they have these big, cracked open, like, transcendent experiences. And I just need to share with people that it doesn't always happen that way. It doesn't have to happen that way. You can still nurture a spiritual life. You can still hear the voice of Spirit talking to you. Spirit is always talking to you.
Every moment, every day.
Right.
Yes.
You just have to figure out how it is you hear it.
Yeah.
And how you hear it is going to be completely different from how maybe I hear it, or Jason hears it, or someone else who says, I just walked outside and God said, I don't know, build a whatever.
Baseball on the field?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
and they won't come.
And they'll come. Yeah, build it. Oh my God. Like, this is amazing. I'm having fun.
Oh. Well, I feel like I feel like we said it. We said it all. Yeah. This is supposed to be like a max 20-minute podcast, and I gotta tell this quick story, and then we're gonna say goodbye because you know I gotta call you out.
She's gonna call me out.
When I first met Jason about a year and a half ago in the choir, and he was promoting this book at church, Agape International Spiritual Center.
Yes.
And I went and I said, oh, let me support my brother, my choir brother. Let me buy this book. I got in the line to have him autograph it. And I tried to give him a pass, y'all. I don't know if you remember this. I tried to give him a pass.
She probably did.
I was like, you don't have to autograph it.
Right.
Because I had a feeling Jason did not know my name. Okay? But he's like, no, I'm going to autograph it. So he opens it up and gets out his pen and he goes, what's your name again? So then he wrote something here. What is it?
Yeah, it was
Kimberley.
like a one-liner.
Love is your essence.
Love is your essence. Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
One line.
But then today, he came in and he wrote like something real. So, thank you. I can't wait to read it.
Because I always have a feeling, and like I always have the upload that I get whenever I look at someone.
Oh, so that was real? I just thought you were just writing some bullshit.
No, I wasn't.
I did.
No, not at all.
Love is my essence.
Love is your essence.
Thank
but
you.
That's truth. That's principle.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love you, Jason.
I love you too.
Yeah.
Right on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So until the next episode, may your soul's journey be joy-filled and abundantly blessed. And may you shine your light so brightly that it not only illuminates the path for you, but for every being you meet along the way. Namaste.
Thank you so much for walking with me today. Until we walk again, see you next week.